Well, I think it's interesting, right? When you said that, I kind of realized you said, your whole life's ahead of you. It's like that's what people said about Charlie as well. It puts a tone of seriousness to that idea. But what I just got done speaking about was that should provoke a sense of urgency. I think that more students are 100% going to get involved because of his death, because of his assassination. As far as what happens with the organization, I don't know. I don't think there's anybody who's going to be able to do what Charlie did. He did so much. The organization that he created, the infrastructure he created is just unparalleled. But I am happy to hear that his wife is going to be at least taking the reins of it. I think she was probably the person who knew him best and certainly knew what his mission would be. So I think her having some executive decision-making about the direction it takes is good. I think it'll create a vacuum within commentary, but I think that vacuum, instead of being filled by one person, is going to be filled by a new kind of guard, a new team-up, alliance between factions of the right wing. The people who think all of us are fascists are now shooting us. So it's time to, get libertarians, conservatives, traditionalists, nationalists, get them all together and realize that we're all fighting for the same country that we used to have. Well, I would just ask, who are we going to compare the assassination of Charlie Kirk to? Who else has died in recent memory that has had as large of an influence, that has created as large of an infrastructure within the right wing, that was as close to the president or to anybody who could affect true change in the country? I mean, who had such a finger on the pulse of young people, which is also largely, what's important about this? Sure, there's attacks on politicians, but a lot of the time these are and it's not to justify it, but it is to say these are maybe state, Senate or, representatives who are incumbents, who have been incumbent for, decades. That is not going to affect the swing of politics the way that Charlie Kirk has and the way his death will. And that's why I think it's just incomparable.
One of the things that these demons do, which I'm going to call the shooter demon, because you have to be, it's beyond a mental illness at this point, is we need to make sure it doesn't deter our youth from wanting to get involved and speak up and be strong. One of Charlie's biggest messages he always had was courage. You need to have courage because there's not a lot of that in this day and age. And for those that have been scarred by what they saw, that's what these demons want. They want you to back down. They want you to be scared. They don't want you to fight.
Evil is very present in our world today, in our society. We need to root that out. We need Christ in our lives. Christ is King. And it's such a tragedy what happened Wednesday. Charlie, as Tyler said, he was just a man. He wasn't an elected official. He was real. People could relate to him. They could connect to his message. And like I said, he was just a man. He was very true. He was a genius, a very smart guy. He was the best debater that the right had ever seen. He was a man that was able to motivate and encourage the youth right to get involved, to get engaged, and be willing to be principled in their beliefs and their faith. And for that, he was a unique man. He was a servant of God, and he was an incredible, incredible man. America needs to have politicians that aren't afraid to be shot when they're going to a campus to speak. It's despicable what happened to Charlie Kirk, and this country should never have to go through that again, let alone in our beautiful state of Utah. That should have never happened, and it never should have happened here in Utah.